Alright, man. This is episode 12 of The Sharp Note. I am Blitz. Hello. I just killed a bug that was in my room. I had to restart this episode because a big bug, no clue what it was, scared the it scared me pretty bad, and I had to deal with that real quick like. So that bug no longer exists. Hello. This is a podcast, by the way. This is the Sharp Note. I talk about life, things, and music. So, alright, hold on. I need to settle down after all that. That was quite the conundrum, having to battle a big ass bug. That's alright though. So, how's it going? Again, this is just a podcast where I talk about life and music. So, let me just quickly, my name is Blitz again. This is my channel. I make music and things. So go listen to my music. You might enjoy it, or you might not enjoy it. Either way, it's fine. I've been very busy recently, and I have not really had time to do anything, and it's been hard to focus on anything. And I don't know. Just going through the motions, I guess. Time is going really quickly. It moves very fast. Because it's like, you think you're like, oh man, that's so far away from now. But no, it's actually, not only is it not far from now, it has passed. That's I don't know, that always gets me, just when things pass. When people pass, or when events pass. Because it's like, it's not happening again. Like, there will be events like it in the future, but that particular event is not happening again, of course. Other events will happen, and those are cool, but that one did happen. It already happened. So, yeah. It's just like a constant battle of the next day and the next event. the next milestone. It's unrelenting in a way, but that's just the nature of time, really. Time is a funny thing. It's I don't know. I mean, that's cliche to say, I guess. Yeah, time is still figuring that one out. What, like, because we obviously know what time is, but like, we don't at the same time, you know? Like, we understand it, I guess, to a. We understand it in a linear fashion, but we do not understand time truly. We just understand it from our own perspective. Man, there's a song stuck in my head right now. It's Climax by Slum Village. Oh man, so good. Alright, anyway. um, highly recommend listening to that song. It's on Fantastic Volume 2. 2.1, I guess, technically. Or, I don't know. I don't really understand the, whatever. Doesn't matter. I know the beats. Honestly, here's the thing. I'm switching subjects, by the way, completely. I listen to a lot of Dilla music, so there are so many beats I have not listened to that he made, but I've listened to all the major ones anyway, all the main ones. And they're all good, really good. Anyway, but there are definitely people out there who, of course, have listened to way more Dylan than I have. There's no way I could ever listen to enough Dilla beats to be the like person who has listened to the most in the world. There's no way I could possibly do that. But I listen to him every day, pretty much. I don't think a day goes by that I don't throw a Dilla beat on. Because I'm constantly, I have a Bluetooth speaker that I play music off of. Like, every time I take a shower, I'm playing music, pretty much. Or playing, like, a podcast or something. But anyway, music, I'll throw on a playlist. Dilla Beats. Not Dilla Beats playlist, but, like, a lot of Dilla Beats in my playlist that I make. Oh, another bug. This one's smaller. Ah. Um. Anyway. So yeah. Dilla beats. I listen to a lot of them. I know them well. I know the beats well. I can. Yeah. I just study them, break them down. I'm like, all right, what's he doing with the bass? All right, bass is good. What's he doing with the kicks, the snares, hats, shaker? I don't know, all the things. What's he doing with the drums? What's he doing with the melody, the vocals? He just knew how to pick good freaking sounds, dude. He could not pick a wrong sound. Is that, like, if that makes any sense? Which is crazy. It's a crazy skill to have. It's like the golden touch. It's literally the golden touch of music, is just having the perfect sound selection. I think I'm getting closer where I can pretty much make any sound work, but I need to be more selective with my sounds. In that, well, and really, I just need to get better at sound design. So, yeah, I don't know. But it's neither here nor there. Um, yeah. Honestly, alright, so reason I even turned this on when I did, is because, well, one, I need to record an episode, but because I want to get an episode out soon, and, also, it was actually 420 today. Funny enough. 420. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I was saying, the reason I even turned this on, uh, I was gonna say, I was gonna talk about, like, technology. So, I'm getting an undergraduate with a technology major. Not a major in technology, but it's a technology related major. Anyway, um, yeah, it's pretty good. Technology's an interesting one. Again, still figuring that one out. It's technology's a funny thing. So it's very abstract concepts applied in very practical ways. It's like the most abstract concepts applied in the most practical ways. That's what technology is in my mind. So it's like you have to think both the most practically and also the most abstractly. That's what it takes to be good with technology, and not everyone can do that. Not to say, not to sound arrogant or say I can. There's so many things I can't do. I'm not the best programmer. I can code a little bit and I can read code, but actually, like, going and coding something. Like I can read pseudocode decently well, and I can do some things, but like I can't. If you just told me you're like, oh yeah, go write this application, it's like, whoa. And like especially front end stuff, I don't know how to do no UI shit. So I mean, I've messed with a little bit of UI stuff with coding, but mm, most of what I know how to do with coding is like algorithms and shit, really. And just like using methods in classes, Java just I not like yeah, just building yeah, just functions. Like I know how to write some code, but I'm not gonna be able to like actually like I can take information inputs and I can handle some data manipulation and then I can spit that data back out. That's how I know how to code. And that's the fundamentals of coding. It's like the whole idea of Unix, or that's like one of the core, or some of the, I don't know. You get my point. So it may not be the best or the most efficient, but I know how to do some shit. But I'm not the best with coding. But anyway, point is, technology. It I don't even remember what I was gonna say about it. But it's yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, man, I don't know. Dude, I can't believe that bug again. That was crazy. That was a huge bug that I had killed. I feel like so I started learning about technology, quote unquote, learning about technology. Uh like I don't know. 10 years ago, I guess. Yeah, I could say like 10 years ago. No, 9. Probably 9 years ago. That was when I first really started to learn about technology. Because that was when I joined my school's like robotics team, which that was cool. And around the same time, I was introduced to Redstone computers. So Minecraft, Redstone computers, and then that just got me interested in computers in general, and how like in that just because it kind of gave me a perspective of like, oh, okay, so that's what computing is. It's just a large scale of anyway, it's just an incredibly large scale of like a few basic fundamental concepts. And so I when I was in middle school, and oh yeah, actually no, I started learning about tech like 10 years ago, so it was more than 9 years ago. It was like 10 years ago, because before I even joined my school's robotics team, I was doing this like summer camp, like computer. It sounds so nerdy, but it was a computer summer camp. Um, at like the local university. I'm not gonna say what university, but it was the local university. Um, oh man, it was actually so cool. Now thinking back on it, that experience was so cool. Cause it's so nerdy, but it was so I don't know. It was such a good like. It was so honestly, I hated being there the whole time. The whole time I hated it. But I think back now, and it's like I look back at myself as like another person, because that was like young me, and now this is like old me. So that was young me. Uh, and I just think like, why was I acting that way? You know. So it's just funny thinking back on it now, but it's actually so good. I hated being there the whole time. I wanted to go home. Because honestly, true, again, like it sounds so nerdy as a computer camp for summer. It was like coding camp, like so I was learning how to like program, and it actually taught me so much about like programming. I learned a lot because I was learning from a university student, so I was like I wasn't like obviously it was only like a week long or some shit, but yeah, it was so fun. But yeah, so I learned a lot from that, and I oh man, I'm just thinking back on it. It was so cringe. I was such a cringy middle schooler and high schooler and in college. I was so cringe in college. I just hope I am not cringe my entire life. I hope at some point I stop being so cringe, but I think it's just in my nature to just be cringe. And to be cringe is to be free. So, you know what? I'm going to be cringe. I'm going to do cringe things, but I try to like make up for that cringiness with other things. I don't know. I just try to be a good person. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm cringe, but at least I'm nice to you, you know? Uh, I don't know. Whatever. It, bro, I cannot get that song out of my head. It's such a good song. Oh my god. Slum Village Climax, bro. Go listen to it right freaking now. Stop this podcast. Go listen to Climax by Slum Village, produced by the one and only JD, aka J Dilla. The shit is just so good. Oh, the moment I click stop recording, I'm turning that song on. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, technology. So 10 years. The past 10 years of my life have been dedicated to learning technology, and the next 60 odd years of my life are going to be dedicated to learning technology. That's just the path in life I've chosen, pretty much. Obviously, not my I my life. There's more to my life than just technology, but that's the career path I've chosen. It's the ultimate hobby, I guess, that I've chosen. It's just I'm learning tech. I just I just like technology. I've always it's that's the one thing that has always fascinated me, like the one core thing. Uh, and so that in literally anything to do with technology. So, um, And that includes like tools and shit. So tooling, I don't know, just all types of stuff, dude. Literally everything. And so the pinnacle of technology is computing. That's why I've like focused so heavily on computers. But I've tried to learn every aspect of just tech and just doing shit, getting shit done. So, like building, architecture, in my opinion, is like under the umbrella of tech or technology. Obviously, it's not like it's engineering, I guess, or I don't know, whatever. You get my point. It's not tech, but that's what I guess what I mean. I'm not just talking about like information technology. I'm talking about literally all things technology. So like a jackhammer. Like what makes a jackhammer work? What's the mechanics behind it? And vehicles fall into that category. Um, so literally anything you could think of. That's my like. Now obviously I pick specific things that I enjoy to learn about, but the general scope is technology related things. So yeah, computers. Um, um, with that said, whether you like it or not, our future will be dictated by technology. The human race. It's just the natural progression, I guess. It's just gonna happen. I mean, it just is. Human society will advance with technology, and we will change and adapt as technology advances. For instance, one thing now is they're talking about microchips that work with photons rather than electricity. So, theoretically, uh, computers in the future could be just completely photon based and not electricity at all. So all the microchips and everything, they're just kind of like sending light signals around everywhere. I don't know. Nvidia is already they've already got one like I think chip. It's like an advanced chip, I think, that works with photons, and they're they've been studying it for like the past 20 years or something, and they're probably going to continue studying it and to continue developing it, and I don't know, we'll see how it gets implemented into the environment, but quantum computers probably won't really take over. uh, they will once they become more commercially available. Once they become commercially available, quantum computers, then they will start to be more like of a thing. But right now, their quantum computers are more just like they're in the development stage right now, and they're still just testing with them. But eventually, um, they should be able to do some pretty sick things with quantum computers, and they'll probably make it pretty what's the word? I guess manufacturable, so, so that it can be reproduced. and mass produced for commercial availability. And the only reason I say commercial is because it's probably going to be like hundreds of thousands of dollars for a single one, or something stupid, or at least tens of thousands of dollars. Um, they could probably get it within a few 10 G's or something, but it could also be six figures. I don't know, but we probably won't see home quantum computers for at least I don't know, probably not in our lifetimes. If you're watching this at all, if you're watching this before the year 2040, we probably won't see modular quantum computing in our lifetime. But if you're listening to this in the year like 2100, I don't know, you might see modular quantum computing. But it's 2025 right now, so that's 75 years from now. If somebody's listening to this 75 years from now, first of all, I might be dead, or if I'm not dead, I'm probably close to death. So I probably don't even remember recording this necessarily. I might remember this. But I'm not going to remember this one specific episode. I'll probably just remember this. Oh yeah, I remember recording the Sharp Note series in my early 20s. I don't know. That's the thing. Time. It's a funny thing, man. So I've been recording these episodes like pretty much right before I upload them. But I said earlier in this episode that it was 4:20 today. It's actually 4:21 right now. So it's Monday, 12:45 a.m. I will probably, yeah, like I said, but this episode will probably go up. Yeah, I'll probably just upload this and schedule it for the 26th. So, almost a week in advance. I may record some other episodes and schedule them out so that I have maybe like a few months worth of episodes, and then I can just kind of like, well, okay, like I'll give you a perfect example. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what I do. It doesn't matter. I'm not, whatever. I'll figure it out. I got some projects in the works. So I have I've never like just said this literally anywhere. I've never just said this, but I guess what better place than now? I've got two channels I have been working on, Blitz and Jask. Blitz is obviously this channel, and my other channel, Jask, I've been working on that one longer. This might be the only place in which I actually like truly connect those, except for I've been thinking about it. Well, okay. Like I've kept them pretty separate just because like I've just been posting, I guess, different content on each. Um, the stuff I post on Blitz was kind of just. At first, it was I just didn't. So on my Jask channel, I didn't want to just upload anything. So I was like, well, let me just make another channel. That's where I made Blitz, and this is where I've just been uploading like more or less random stuff. So at first it was just random beats, and I may do more of that where I just post random beats, but I don't know. Yeah, I should probably do that. Post some more beats at some point. May do that tonight or something. I don't know, but so here's the thing. I didn't want to like I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, let me go back to what I was talking about. So these two channels. I have two projects I have released now. Last July 21st, 2024, I uploaded this project I called Of All Music. And so it's supposed to be Jask of All Music. So the where the name comes from is, well, the saying Jack of all trades, but a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Obviously, Jask is a play on words of the name Jack. And just to explain that real quick, if you take the C in Jack and you pronounce it as an S, well, you get Jask. And so you just replace the C with an S. I don't know. Anyway, it's it's a nickname that was given to me years ago, and it just stuck because I don't know, I just liked it, so I just kept using it. I don't know. No one actually actually let me back up. There's only like a handful of people in this world that actually call me that name. Most people just call me Jack. But the only people that call me Jask are these it's these two random girls that I from high school. Not girls that I was like, don't get the wrong idea now. We were just friends, but yeah, they were like the only ones. It's just these two random ass girls though. I was just friends with them, and I told them, I was like, yeah, my name's Jack, but the C is pronounced like an S. So it's actually Jask. And they were like, oh, okay, well, I'll just call you Jask then. And I was like, okay, bet. And so for like the next 2 years of high school, after I had told them that, they called me Jask. And to this day, I don't know. They probably would still call me Jask. But I haven't talked to them in a while. I don't know. I'll have to see them at some point. But neither here nor there. Um, yeah. Anyway, so Jask, I started the YouTube channel um, a while ago. I don't know. I think I started it and I was just like doing redstone stuff at first, Minecraft redstone stuff, and I want to go back and do more Minecraft redstone stuff. So I do want to get back into all that. I just haven't. I want to make more content like that. Uh, I just haven't had the time to invest into the project that I want to, and I've been planning out this project, and I don't want to start building on this project, not too much anyway, um, until I have a good plan for it and I actually know, like, kind of what I'm gonna do, because I'm still just kind of figuring it out. About like I'm still like thinking about how the design should go, but anyway, or how it should operate. Um, so yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, when I do actually like go through and do some Minecraft Redstone projects, I actually want to do some decent like documentation. Honestly, just for my own sanity, of just so I know how it works, and I know that it works, and it just makes it when you actually go through and do some documentation. Um, Usually, I can identify like how to make things simpler. Because as I'm explaining it, basically, I'm like, wait, but why does it need all that? You know. Um, but anyway, but yeah, I got other content I want to. So yeah, I started that channel a while back. Um, and I have that album Jask. Well, okay, so I started the channel, and then I was learning more about like music production, and I was like, all right, now I gotta. I made, I had a bunch of beats, and I was putting together um, the album, and I was like coming up with the name and Jask of all music. I don't know, whatever. The name came from basically just the album was more or less an amalgamation of all the beats I had made, or all the like my favorite ones of the time. They were, I don't know if there were any better ones. that I didn't put in on the album. There were definitely other good ones, but those were the ones that ended up on the album. Okay, well, there were 21 tracks for that album, and I tried to squeeze them as tight as possible. Like, I eliminated as much as possible. I am actually, spoiler alert, I'm going to do a remix of that album at some point, and I'm gonna first of all improve the mixing and mastering. It's gonna be way better, hopefully. But also, I'm probably going to change a couple of the songs, shorten a few of them, and maybe eliminate some parts. But ultimately, the songs will stay the same. It'll be the same song, just a slight remix. Um, and maybe oh no. Okay. Maybe like maybe one or two of them will get more of a more changes than others, but most of them will just be like remixing and mastering, and then um, changing the song structure very slightly, just to shorten it a little bit. But a handful, I'm probably going to eliminate some elements, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But spoiler alert. But anyway, I so there were 21 tracks for that, and I tried to make them as short as possible so that it could theoretically fit on 2 LPs. So 4 sides, an A, B, C, and D of each about, I guess, 20 minutes, because it was like an hour and 20. That was the full runtime of All Music um, when I released it last year. So 20 minutes each side of an LP, hour 20. 2 LPs, 4 sides, whatever. Around that anyway, ballpark. I think that's possible, but not that I have had it pressed or I will have it pressed in the future. But who knows? You never know. So I was like, yeah. Because here's the thing. Okay, you want to make an album, right? Or you want to make music. All right. You need a few tracks. You need a set number of tracks. For my album, I chose 21. Okay. That then the total runtime of all those tracks need to be able to be split, or if you're going to have it pressed on a vinyl record, it needs to be able to fit on a vinyl record. So you need to look up the like timings of like, well, what vinyl record are you going to actually put it on? Are you going to put it on an EP, an LP, a 45? There's different ways you can press it, and each one has different RPMs, and it's different timings on each side. So there's different quantities of like how much music you can put on each side. Like there's different amount of time. So you basically just break it up. How it's going to be pressed on the vinyl, and you wonder why music is like 2 or 3 minute long songs. Well, first of all, 2 or 3 minute long songs are just like kind of a human standard in a way, or I don't know. Anyway, but 2 or 3 minute long songs. That's what fits on a single side of a 45 single. So those 45 singles, you only get like a few minutes on each side. So you only get like 3 or 4. I think you get like 3 or 4 minutes each side. maybe 5, but that's pretty much it. Um, so nowadays with like digital, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But back in the day, that was the thing. You were pressing your vinyl, and the album and all the songs had to fit on the vinyl. So, and honestly, as you're making your music today, even though we have digital, and that's where you're gonna get most of your money is digital streaming and whatnot. You need to plan out your albums so that they can be pressed on vinyl. And you need to consider how many or what songs are going to be on like side A and what songs are going to be on side B, and consider the order in which they play. So like some artists like Pink Pantheress or whatever her name is, she um, doesn't really care about track listing, but the way in which you order your tracks, it kind of matters because all right, if somebody day you release an album, biggest fans like, oh, I have to listen to this album. They might just click through and whatever, but someone like they ought to click on the first one, start at track one, and go one, two, three, just listen chronologically. Um, that's the because see the thing is with a vinyl back in the day with vinyl, well you wouldn't just drop the needle randomly in the middle of the vinyl. You would put the needle at the start and you would let it play through, and then you would flip it over, put the needle at the start, and let it play through. So you would listen to the whole vinyl chronologically, and you would pick out which songs you liked best, and then you might drop the needle on specific songs after that. But you had to start it at the beginning. So anyway, neither here nor there. So yeah, I had 21 tracks for this album. Um, it was cool. It's a decent album. Oh yeah, it was pretty much. All right, so the way that album even came into fruition, I so I had purchased FL Studio. That's where it starts, of course. Always, you buy FL Studio, as you do, and I was messing with the sounds in FL Studio, like the stock sounds and the stock plugins and the stock VSTs and whatnot. But pretty, I yeah. Anyway, and if I remember correctly, most of that album of All Music is like original production. It's not all like completely original sound design. Um, I was like using presets and whatnot, but I was playing majority of the instruments myself, and doing all the drums myself. I pretty much do any song I do. I do the drums myself, pretty much. Very seldom will I pull in a loop of something, like I don't know, like a shaker loop or something. Very seldom will I do that, but neither here nor there. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't even remember the whole track list of that album. You know what? Let me look through real quick. But yeah, so okay, like I was saying, that album, how it came into fruition. Um, um, I had downloaded FL Studio and I was like making some songs and whatnot, but they were bad. They were real bad. And then one day I don't even know how it happened necessarily, but it just clicked. And I was, I think, reading something, and I was looking at the church modes, like the musical church modes, and it it just clicked. I figured out how to lay out the modes on the piano with like the whole steps and half steps. So I memorized, the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, and whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. It's the major and minor modes. Um, and that just made sense to me. And so C major being all the white keys, it's the same as A minor being all the white keys. That just makes sense to me now. Um, and B major is all the black notes plus B and E. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. And so when that clicked for me, all of a sudden, my music wasn't so bad. It was still, I still had a lot to learn. I was still, it was still bad. My music now is still kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't feel like I feel like I have yet to really make like a, a genuinely just objectively good song. I think I've made good music, but like, um, to make, I don't even know, just something that you get obsessed with, like that type of song. That's the type of song I'm itching to make. Just one that people get obsessed with, one that I get obsessed with. I have been obsessed with my own music in the past, certain songs, but it almost always just like I get tired of the song eventually. But there are certain songs that exist where I can never get tired of that song. I don't know. I've made some decent songs. I gotta say, there are some beats that I've made that I do think are decent contenders for what I'm talking about, but they're not like perfect. You know, for instance, the song Infinity 888 by XXX Tentacion with Joey Badass. That's a perfect song. I don't think I could ever get sick of that song. A lot of my music, I don't know. I feel like I could get sick of it eventually. Like I will get sick of it all eventually. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But so yeah, the music theory clicked for me, and I was all of a sudden, huh? The music wasn't so just absolute. absolutely horrendous because I actually understood how to control um, harmonics and like dissonance and whatnot, and how to prevent too much dissonance, and how to use dissonance when you want to use it, and how to create tension. But and I learned some music theory like call and response and um, what else? I don't know. But yeah, so I spent some time making music, and I was like, man, and I had a lot of beats that I was happy with. And I was like, man, what do I do with all this? Well, you make an album, clearly. When you have a bunch of beats and a bunch of music, just make an album. Well, I didn't have anyone. I'm not the best writer. I didn't feel like writing a bunch of lyrics for all these beats and whatnot, so just making an instrumental album. That's fine. Um, and um, just yeah, making an instrumental album and pick out the best songs. So I was like, all right, how many songs? Well, 21 is a good number. 21, 21. Multiple reasons why I picked 21. Um, Honestly, main reason is because I was 21 when I made all those songs. No, that's not the main reason, but that's one reason. Um, yeah, 21. Uh, and I started just listing out which of my beats were my favorites, and I listed out more than 21. So there were a few that I considered for the album, but they ended up not being put on the album, and so other tracks were put like in their place. Yeah, there were a few tracks that I had that just didn't make it to the album. Um, Yeah, but I just picked out the ones that I thought were best, and I ordered them, I ordered them. I like listed them in chronological order, how I thought it worked, and I probably listened to that album so many times, just all the way through, um, and I'm to this day I'm decently happy with the way it all progresses. So I'll just give a brief. The early songs in that album, or the first few songs, or well, the first song, the intro to that album, is honestly supposed to just kind of like set the tone of you don't know what you're about to hear. And then the next like few songs are all like decent songs to kind of like pull the to hook the listener, and then I like completely switch things up partway through, and then it just kind of devolves from there. So it's like the first part of the album, you're thinking like, okay, this is a decently put together album, and then it just devolves into this amalgamation of music. Uh, or I don't know. That's not like a perfect way to paint the picture, but that's the general scope of the track listing. It's truly it's just a bunch of random beats that I made. That's the whole. But the order of the track listing is like you listen to it and it's like it hooks you with the first like third of the album pretty much, and then it completely switches things up with this song called Roik, and then after that it just devolves into this yeah, and then by the end of the album there's this song called Weathered, or this beat, whatever, Weathered at the end of the album. It's just you're just weathered by all of the music that has happened, I guess, or that you've listened to. It's just like it's just so much at that point. So I was just like, all right. And then the outro is just yeah, just one last kind of hurrah, I guess, for the album. Yeah, and I think all the songs are, each one has character. Each song. So just to kind of go through the track list, it's Newfound Peace is the intro, then Getaway, then Groovy, then Shreddin', Talkin', Crunch. This one I called, well, it's X, the tilde symbol X, but that it's just a, yeah, I don't know. Surf, Roik, Junk, NABFOTG, which, I mean, it's just an acronym of not a big fan of the government. um, which I'm not gonna explain it now. You'll see in the future if you, yeah, you might know, whatever. Thick Jam, Pump, Uve, Forest, Kicks and Shit, Underwater Love, Moon Raps, Sky, Weathered, and Sweet Donut. See, that was cool album. Um, and then since I've released that, I've just been like live streaming and whatnot. I haven't released any other music on this channel yet, or on that channel, Jazz. But on this channel, Blitz, I was working on starting like, I guess it was starting like last fall. Okay, so I released Of All Music last summer, and then since that album, or like since then, leading into the fall, I had been making more beats, of course, and I was like, well, I want to release another project with all these beats I've been making. So similar process. I picked the best ones, but at this point, I'd kind of gotten more specific with the music I was making, so it was more consistent, I guess. And I had just learned more. So, anyway, uh, but yeah, similar process. I got a bunch of songs together, and this time I had decided on 7, and then because I wanted to make it kind of short, then my buddy was like, "Oh, you should do 11." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do 11." Uh, and so I was set on making this project like an EP though, so relatively shorter. So I wanted it within 30 minutes. And wouldn't you know it, it ended up being 30 minutes and like 40 something seconds of a total run time. I was just squeezing the music in there, trying to make it like sound good, and I don't know, whatever. Probably could have shortened some parts more, but whatever. But yeah, I think the track list ended up good. So I did the EP technically has four or the seven tracks that I mentioned, and then four bonus tracks. So how the if it were to be pressed, it's not. I haven't yet to have it pressed. I probably won't have it pressed for a really long time. And when I do have it pressed, I'm gonna have to remix it and whatnot because I know for a fact it's not going to be good if it were pressed on vinyl. None of my like all of yeah, like you have to do pretty much just you have to remix it so that the bass and whatnot is not like too much and it doesn't like yeah, anyway, it's not here nor there, but if it were to be pressed, four songs would go on side A, and then three songs would go on side B of the EP, and then the four bonus songs would just go on like another uh, another disc. Whether that's like, I don't know if I'd be could fit all four tracks on a single 45. May or may not be able to, but if I can't, could definitely squeeze it all in just another like 10-inch EP or some shit. Or yeah, just like another 10-inch disc. But yeah, fitting four tracks on a 10-inch, that's very doable. But yeah. So yes, that was that project I'm talking about. I started it last. Of all the beats that I had made for it, I had been making them. The oldest one on that project was this beat called Deuces, and I made it on the the day I first made it. I first started making it the day my little cousin passed away. Uh, spoiler alert, his nickname was Deuce. Um, or fun fact, I guess. Fun fact, his nickname was Deuce. Um, so made the song Deuces because he passed away. It's not good. Did not like that. That was not fun. Um, and I just took this sample pretty much, and I was just messing around with it. And it just kind of I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just it's almost like words can't really just describe it. You just kind of just go listen to it. Um, but yeah, so I started it then, and over I've worked on that project um, a few times over the course of well, until the project came out. So And the project was released on, well, it was Buckingham Beagle. Is the project I'm talking about. It was released on February 7th, 2025, which was a little over 2 months ago. Um, 2 months as of recording, anyway. Uh, what was I saying? I don't know. Anyway, so it was. I started the project. It was like a year and some change, year and a half. That I had worked on that project. Oh, I was only like a few times, and yeah. Anyway, uh, so I wasn't working for a year and a half on that one project, of course, but I worked on that project over the course of a year and a half. Just added parts, remixed parts, and did the final mix and master for the release, and then yeah. I probably had it in its final form um, sometime in early 2025, and then I did like a final master of it for the album release, and then yeah, and I released it on Dilla's birthday, Dilla Day. Just on YouTube and whatnot. I didn't release it on like everywhere, of course. Um, so that kind of brings me to my point, though. I have these two projects. The whole reason I even brought up my music, and I've been talking about this and ranting about it. Um, I have these two projects under two different channels, two different aliases. But I want to put these projects on streaming platforms. So, do I A, make two different streaming profiles and one for Blitz, one for Jask, and I have, the albums completely separated on two different separated, I don't know what I said, or do I just make one streaming thing with Blitz slash Jask, and it incorporates both of these aliases basically? So that then whether I release under the alias Blitz or Jask, it all goes on under the same like Spotify or Apple Music, pretty much. Like under those, and goes under the same profile. Now, obviously, on like YouTube, here I have the two different channels. So when I release under the two different aliases, I'll release under the specific alias, or under the specific channel for the project. And honestly, the general rule of thumb, anything that I release under Blitz is just more, I guess, personal, just more more important, I guess. And stuff I release under Jask is just more fun and more whatever. So like I was saying earlier, the Of All Music, again, it was just kind of an amalgamation of beats, whereas Buckingham Beagle, I planned it out more. And I was more specific about the track lists and just all the things. And I'm actually working on a project now, which will be released under Blitz. So it'll be released here soon. I have a handful of projects I'm working on in the background, but I'm not excited about them, honestly. I think I may. Mm, I may release these. I have two projects that I'm like. One is basically, I'll just say it's just house music. So I want to make a house, whether it's an EP, LP, I don't know, but however long it ends up being. But I have a few tracks already made, and I probably need to make like a couple more. I could. I gotta see how long these tracks are. I gotta remix them nonetheless, though. Like these tracks, all of them, each one needs to be remixed. Um, Cause well, for one, I've learned things since the last time I worked on those house songs. But also, I have um, listened to them more, so I know I have a few more like intentional changes I want to make. And but also, I've downloaded some other software, like I've gotten some other VSTs since then, and I've learned something. Like I said, learned some things, so I can use these new VSTs to kind of improve the overall quality. That's the thing. The you don't need um, the most expensive VSTs in the world, and you don't even really need that many. I'll tell you what you need right now. Hold up. All right, here's what you need. So you're gonna need a compressor. First of all, you need a good compressor, and you're probably gonna need a couple. There's a couple different ways you can compress things. There's like valve compressors, and there's I don't know. There's all types of things. um, get a decent compressor. Don't just use a stock compressor. So I use FL Studio, of course, and the stock compressor in FL Studio is Maximus. Maximus is good. It is not great. Maximus can do basic things, but do not rely on Maximus as your like honestly, the only thing I would recommend using Maximus for is like um, band consolidation. Basically, I don't know how else to say it, um, but because what you can do in Maximus is you can separate between the lows, the mids, and the highs, and you can control the volumes of those for specific ranges. And you can set the ranges, so you can set the range of your lows, the range of your mids, and the range of your highs, and then you can kind of control that way. That's all I would recommend doing with it, because that's all it really can do. All but of the other features that Maximus does have, all of the limited, don't use them. Just use it for the basic like volume controls of the different frequencies, and you're more or less just going to be using it. All right, for instance, on bass, you can set the lows to be like, all right, what I like typically do is 80 and lower is my low end range, and then between 80 and like or like 100, somewhere in that 80 and 100, somewhere in that range, and then between that and like 4 or 500, um, or sometimes like 600, uh, that's the mid, and then anything above that, the like 4, 5, 600 is highs. And then so with bass, a lot of the times, honestly, what I'll do a lot is just increase the mids, because the lows are you typically fine. The sub bass is typically fine, but it's just the like the bass part, that like the mid and the bass. The sub bass is perfectly loud enough, but the actual bass is not loud enough, and so I'll turn that part up. So the mids I'll turn up, and the lows I may turn up the lows a little bit, but the mids I'll turn up more, and then the highs I might turn up a tiny bit, but just depends on how the frequencies kind of are being synthesized, or just how the yeah. Um, anyway. So okay. Let me go back. I was saying you need a compressor. Get a decent compressor. Maximus is fine to use for simple things, but get a decent compressor to use for like for just whatever. And get a handful to have like of different ones to have just a couple different options. You don't need so many, but just have like 2 or 3 that you can kind of pull in and use, that have like different features on each one. And then you need some type of saturator, uh, and like some distortion, some distortion plugins. That I need to get more distortion plugins, but having some type of wave shaper, and FL Studio comes with a wave shaper, has a stock wave shaper, which is not bad. I think I probably, it's not a great wave shaper, but it does the trick. So I've been using that for like distortion and whatnot, and uh, and yeah, just saturation to give saturation. Honestly, does wonders. It is, yeah. It's just so good. Um, and obviously you need some type of EQ. Fruity Parametric EQs 2. The second one, not the first one, the second one. Fruity Parametric EQ 2. That one's pretty good. But there are better EQs, of course. Um, but that one does the trick. And hmm. Dude, honestly, yeah, just reverb, delay, some type of reverb. Uh, Again, Fruity Reverb 2 does does the trick. Um, and you just gotta know how to use it. Like it's not gonna do it for you, and it doesn't know what your intention is. So you gotta set these things to do what you want it to do. Um, but it's got the options. The options are there. You just gotta set it, and that's the thing. A lot of these plugins have presets that are not bad. Um, and even if you don't like the presets, well, make your own. Make new ones, or download some. People make them and they put them up for download. You can download presets. Um, and then you just put them in the right folder. I've never really messed around with all that, so I don't know how to do all that. But yeah, you just load the presets that you download. Um, I know it's possible. I just don't know. I've never actually done it. But anyway, I've been talking for an hour and a half now. Yeah. Hmm. Trying to think what else would be helpful that you need. Well, just synthesizers, digital synthesizers. That's it, and instruments. Just get some instruments, microphones, ways to record, the right equipment, and just to produce the sound. Because that's the thing. Is like, okay, sound. Because you have sound production, and then you have mixing, and then you have mastering. The sound production part is like you can produce the sounds real, like with analog, and then record that, uh, like a guitar or something, or or a piano, and you just record yourself playing the piano, or you get a digital synthesizer, and you do it that way. So like even Serum's just a digital synth, and essentially, I mean, I think it's, I don't know. I don't know all the features of Serum. I don't have it. I want to get it at some point. Serum's good. But yeah. But you don't need Serum. Honestly, Flex does a lot in FL. Flex has so much. Flex has, with all the free stuff, it has like most things you could possibly need. It has a version of it anyway. Now, you may not want to use what it's got, but not everything, a lot of stuff in Flex is just not good. Uh, but Flex has some freaking heat, dude. And it's not a bad digital synth. There's also Citrus. Citrus is more confusing. I don't really understand the knobs on the right side. That's my thing with Citrus. And also, I don't really understand how all the like oscillators work and everything. Like, I know how oscillators work, but I just don't know how their menus are like set up. It's just confusing. And another really good one. All right, I'm about to drop some sauce right now. There's this plugin in FL Studio called GMS, and there is a preset in that plugin GMS under the basses tab called bass like 2 or something. I can't remember, but it's like just bass 2. It's a very clean bass. And when you click on it, it has an echo turned on. Go to the echo, turn the echo off, and just have it a clean bass. It's pretty much just like a sine wave, but it's like a sine wave with a little bit of flavor. I don't even know. It might just be a sine wave. I don't know, but it for some reason has a little bit more flavor than just a pure sine wave. Whatever that bass 2 is. But neither here nor there. When you turn it up, it's not going to sound the best. But if you distort it a little bit, and then you turn up the like mids like I was talking about with the Maximus, and then you wave shape it, and then you just like put a compressor on it, pretty much. you can get a decent bass. Decent sub bass anyway. And it's a sub bass that I have used and will use probably for some time until I get Serum. Once I get Serum, I'll probably just use that for pretty much all my sound design purposes. Because that will be able to do anything I need, pretty much. Like any sound that I could possibly need. But I don't know. I might still dabble with these other ones that I'm cooking with now. But I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, with some basic like sound production VSTs like synths and whatnot, or just good recordings. And then you just chop like just take a recording and chop it up. Oh yeah, man, easy music, easy beats, and just throw some drums behind them. It's easy. It really is just that easy. It's just the thing is, it's just finding the right sounds and just finding the right melodies. And then finding the right drums to put with those melodies. Yeah, man. I feel like I've collected a good amount of sounds where I haven't felt like I've needed to like I've just been messing around with what I have, and yeah, I like, honestly, it's gonna be a long time before I feel like I need to expand. Like, I have a lot to mess with right now, and I'll be cooking with what I got for a little while, and I'm eating right now, and I'm not full. And yeah, we'll put it out there soon. So on my Jask channel, I showed off a couple beats not that long ago. I just did a quick live stream, and I just showed 4 projects I've been working on. One called Heaven, one called Thick Chicks, one called Save Me, and then one called Preach. Yeah. So those are just 4 projects I'm working on. Those will probably be included with this thing I said out earlier. I'm trying to make for Blitz. So this channel, I'm gonna release a project on this channel at some point. I don't know what it's called yet. Don't worry about what it's called. Just know it's coming at some point. Yeah. We'll see how it ends up. Oh, snap. I wonder if... Is that better? I've recorded the whole time with my mic turned down. That's so funny. Well, there goes an hour and 40 minutes with my mic turned down. But hello, my mic's turned back up now. Can you hear me better? I probably, yeah, can probably hear better. But you could probably hear me fine earlier. But anyway, so yeah, technology, man. So yeah, I could never do as well as I am doing or as much as I am doing with music if it weren't for as much as I've learned about technology. Like it's the pinnacle of human knowledge in my opinion, is just computers and technology. Um, and not understanding it even just a little bit is well, you're just a product of your environment, and if your environment is not gonna promote learning things or learning about what just computers or anything, you're not gonna do it. Humans don't want to do it, but trust me when I say it's like learning math. It's like humans don't want to learn math, but trust me when I say it is good for you to learn math. And honestly, you think you know addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not know it nearly as well as you think you might. Because here's the thing, if I gave you. If I gave you two binary numbers and I told you add them together, what would be your process? Where would you start? Now, some of you might be laughing. It's like, oh, well, clearly, because you know how binary is added together. I don't know. That's just a simple, obviously, example. But that's like the fundamental of computers. It's just like adding, subtracting, just bitwise, just logic on binary, on electrical circuits. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how does the electricals? I don't know. You get my point. There's so many things, and just knowing all these things, or not even that I know so much. Oh, I know so much. I really don't. There's so much that I don't know. There's so much that I don't know. Like it's an astronomical amount of stuff that I do not know, and I probably never will know. Even the stuff I do know, or I think I know, are there's probably many misconceptions that I have, or like slight misinterpretations. I don't know, whatever. But fuck it. I mean, hey, I'm getting stuff done. So if you get stuff done, like how bad can it, or how, I don't know, whatever. Or how I guess wrong can I be? It's like if 1 plus 1 equals 2, and I do the math, and 1 plus 1 equals 2, am I wrong? Like it just is what it is. I don't know. Anyway, obviously not everything is 1 plus 1 equals 2. Some things 2 plus 2 equals 4. I don't know, but all right, this is dragging on. I've been recording for an hour 45. This is probably one of, if not the longest episode I have recorded so far. So that's neat. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it just is. It just kind of happened that way. I guess I'm less on a time constraint because I'm recording this like a week early, and I'm gonna upload this right after I finish. But I'm not like rushing to get this done at all. Yeah. Anyway, I'm actually ahead of schedule this time. But yeah. So this was episode 12. I appreciate anyone who decided to listen, especially if you listened to all the way through. Holy shit. Just me talk about like my projects and just random stuff. But yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about the streaming services though. I want to get my music on streaming services. I think it'll be good because that way, well, I can show it to people, and they can actually, like download my music on their Spotify or something. But I have yet to do it because it costs money. And also, I don't know who to trust. Because here's the thing, to get your music on streaming services, you need to go through a distributor. And, well, a distributor is going to be pretty much any record label. But if you don't have your own record label, or if you're not part of one, you're an independent, well, you have you need to either make your own record label and then distribute your music that way, which requires making an LLC and the whole business structure and legal filings and accountants and taxes and all the things that comes with owning a record label. And also you need to then do the filings with the streaming services themselves to say, hey, I'm a legitimate record label, and I want, whatever, which I don't even know what that process entails, but or you do like DistroKid or CD Baby or something, like one of those websites where you just pay them a fee and they will distribute your music. But not to say that there's anything wrong with those. I'm sure they are fine. They are great. But they are taking a cut of your, I don't know, whatever, which is fine. I mean, someone has to take a cut. A record label is going to take a cut. Even if you own your own record label, your own record label is going to technically take a cut from you, because your label needs to survive without you. So okay. Anyway. Okay, anyway, so yeah, we'll see what I end up doing at some point, but before I even do that, I'm probably going to uh, do like remixes of everything just to improve them a little bit more. Not like full remixes, but well, like I said earlier, I said I was gonna remix the Jask of All Music album, um, that I have out on YouTube and shit, cause it's just not the best. I can improve upon it. Um, Especially with like some of the timings of things, I've gotten way better at like timing things. So can probably improve some of the timings. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Cause yeah, I don't know what's gonna be the smartest way to do it. To just put it all like a Blitzjask one profile, or separate them on different profiles. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna separate them. I've decided. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'll just do two different profiles. Why not? Anyway, all right. Um, yeah, I've been recording for almost 2 hours, so again, I appreciate anyone who decided to listen. This has been episode 12 of The Sharp Note. I'm been your host, Blitz. Yeah. Anyway. I'll probably record some episodes and get them like uploaded early. So I'll like pre-upload episodes probably for this podcast. But that's fine in my opinion. I don't think that's because I had been like essentially recording them the day before I uploaded them, and I was just like talking about the what had happened in my life recently. But now I don't know. I'm just still essentially doing that. Still talking about music and life. That's the whole point of this podcast. Is just music and life. That's just talking about my life and talking about the music I make and talking about good music I like. Um, so yeah. go check out some of the projects I was talking about in this episode. They're you can find them. Should be able to. You can look for them. I don't need to tell you where everything's at. You can. There's links. Honestly, simplest way is to go to Red Eye Remedy, and that's gonna have links to everywhere pretty much. Like to my channels, and also anyone else who's within that zeitgeist, which right now is not many people, but eventually maybe more people. Yeah, anyway. Alright, well, I'm gonna cut it there. That's pretty much it. It's all for now, anyway. So, bye.